Look, some comments on this. Colin Mathers simply says it's too soon for Wilson. Craig Downey says throw Wilson in with the Sharks. Good prospect, but too soon, I think. And one of these comments here, Keith, calls you out directly. What are you talking about, Keith? Where is the growth with keepers, centre-half, strikers? It's one of the worst-looking squads I've ever seen, which seems a bit mad to me, but right of reply for you, Keith?
I don't know if I need to give that the courtesy of a response.
That's fair enough, eh?
You've got Ben Doak, you've got Billy Gilmore, you've got Lewis Ferguson, you've got Lennon Miller, you've got
James Wilson,
Aaron Hickey and Nathan Patterson, albeit they're not in this squad. You've got good young quality players in various in most departments of the team. James Wilson, yes, I agree. I think it is too soon for him. But clearly the plan is get him in, get him involved, make him feel part of the setup because the kids get every chance.
Yeah.
I think there's so much to be excited about, and I don't know, maybe... listen, I get it. Some people prefer club football and they can't really be bored with Scotland. But I've went through the agony of watching Scotland all over the world for 30 years. And believe me when I say it's enjoyable. Everything that we're getting out of this group of players and the potential for what lies in front, it's an enjoyable experience to be around. And I've been with a lot of squads where it was the absolute opposite. So yeah, you be as downbeat as you like, whatever your name is.
I don't even get a name. CSC.
Yeah, but I'm quietly enjoying it.
Aye. Fraser, did Clarke give any clues at all about whether or not either of the youngsters will get any game time against Greece?
No, none. Well, I'm laughing there because as I'm reading them, the comments coming in about too soon for Wilson and throwing Wilson in with the Sharks, I'm automatically thinking they're talking about me. I was definitely in with a few Sharks at Hampden today, I tell you.
Too soon for this, Wilson.
No, look.
Have we got the equivalent of an under-21 programme that we can put Fraser into for?
We can qualify, yeah.
Build up some experience.
Look, I don't. I wouldn't be surprised to see Lennon Miller get minutes in one of these two games, depending how they're going. I don't think there's any chance at all James Wilson will get a minute. He's in there entirely for the experience, as we were talking about earlier, to getting around the surroundings, maybe rub the experience of the more well-known players rub off on him, and just to get a feel for it for the future. There's also still an opening for George Hurst, by the way, who they're still trying to get the paperwork finalised on.
That's right.
And if that does go through in the next 5-6 days, expect to see him called up to this squad, which would obviously shunt James Wilson further down the pecking order. George Hurst having scored 3 goals in 19 games for Ipswich this season is one that Clarke spent a month or two trying to convince to switch from England, who is represented up to under 20 level, and is now 99% convinced that, he will be happy to make that switch. And so Fraser, expect that to happen.
He's a very different physical specimen, isn't he? What we're talking about.
26-year-old, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think that Steve Clarke is looking at him thinking, Lyndon Dykes isn't getting any younger. He is having his issues with injury. But I think Hurst could fulfil a very similar sort of role within the squad and within the team.
As does young Tommy Conway, who I thought's done very well. And he's still in the squad, obviously. I thoroughly expect Shea Adams to start over in Greece. But no, to go back to the original point, I don't think Lennon Miller or James Wilson will be guaranteed minutes at all. No chance. They're there for the experience more than anything. But look, going back to what Keith said, it really irks me when folk throw out the cheap accusation that Scotland isn't producing players anymore. We've had a ream of them since probably going back to when Billy Gilmore first burst on the scene. And now, the squad's full of them. Aaron Hickey coming back from injury, thank goodness, 18 months of injury hell. Obviously, Kieran Tierney, you get Lewis Ferguson, who I'm delighted to see back in the squad, and I really, really hope now he can go on to establish himself in the starting 11 somehow. We need to maybe time for Kenny McLean to take a step aside and allow Lewis Ferguson to go in there in the kind of holding midfield role that he's been playing for Bologna since he came back for that injury. Because a Serie A midfielder, Lewis Ferguson, Billy Gilmore and Scott McTominay just really, really excites me.
Why do people not get excited about that?
I When I Look, I'm not
astonishing.
afford international football. Scotland is my team. You know, it's only team that I actually do get passionate about. So, having followed them for 30 odd years now, this is as exciting as it's been. You know, so but there's evidence all over the place. Maybe the only thing is we keep producing fullbacks and midfielders. If only we could come up with a 30 goal a season striker, or maybe a big dominant Virgil van Dijk style centre half, then we'd be laughing. But to go back to goalkeepers, Angus Gunn's injured again. That's why he's on the squad. He actually hurt his hamstring leaping at Horden for Norwich last week, believe it or not. As Clarke said, there wasn't a lot of choice there. Not a lot of keepers playing regular football, so he's opted for Liam Kelly. That's had 6 games for Rangers in the last couple of months. All points towards Craig Gordon, getting cap number 80 and probably 81 as well, to jump above Fletcher in the all-time record list. And that would put him 4th, just under Andy Robertson. And by the way, closing in on Jim Leighton's 91, the most capped Scotland goalkeeper of all time. So,
tell me this, Fraser.
What's that?
Tell me this. Was he asked today at all about, obviously the team has changed since Kieran Tierney kind of fell out the squad.
Yeah.
And we had the specially tailored kind of system which allowed him to play Tierney and Robertson in the same team, and we all acknowledged that was just smart thinking, that was the clever thing to do. But the team has progressed a little bit in style.
Yeah.
We've gone to a 4. I know it's early days because the game's a while away, but was there any questions asked about how he sees trying to fit the two of them back in again now?
Yeah, always a bit wary of this because it was in the embargoed section, Keith, so I didn't want to give too much away, but yeah, it basically kept all options open. You know, right. Kieran Tierney could come in for Grant Hanley in the left centre half of a back 4. I doubt he'll switch back to the back 3 with the wing backs again, because the back 4's just started working so well for us at the end of the Nations League there. I think he also made a joke about Tierney playing left wing for Arsenal in the last few weeks. So plenty of options there to get Kieran Tierney shoehorned back into the team. But there's a few interesting decisions, isn't there, after that brilliant back-to-back win over Croatia.